Hello everyone, welcome back again to my channel. My name is Marvel Greg. On today's episode we're going to be drafting our basic bodice pattern, and for this pattern we'll be needing our pattern curves, our tape rule, our pattern paper of course, and our marker, and also our measurements. So for this tutorial we're going to be using a body measurement. That's our shoulder measurement of 15 inches, our bust measurement 10.5 inches, our half length measurement for the front of 17 inches, our half length measurement for the back is going to be 15 inches, our bust circumference 40 inches, and our waist 32 inches. Then our bust span is 8 inches. Also take note. So as you can see, I've divided my paper into two because we're going to be drafting the front bodice and also the back bodice. Okay, so just go ahead and divide your pattern paper or whatever it is you're using for this drafting for this pattern. Divide it by 2, and I also ruled a line upward where I'm going to start my measurement. So I'm going to be starting with my shoulder measurement. Okay, so our shoulder measurement is 15 inches. So I'm going to divide it by 2. It's going to be 7.5. So I'm going to be adding 7.5 just like you see me do there. I'm going to mark my 7.5 inches. Then I'm going to include all my vertical measurements. I'm going to be including my my half length measurement for the front. I'm going to include my bust measurements for the front. Yeah, so just like you see me do, you can go ahead and also include yours. So my half length for the front it's 17 inches. So I'm going to be including my 17 inches. I'm just going to spread it across all angles so I can come out having a straight and accurate line. Okay, so I'm going to be connecting my lines, my vertical lines at this point, just like you see me do, from my center front down all the way down. Then I'm also going to be connecting my half length all the way down as well. So for my armhole, also known as where you can improve your chest line, I'm going to be dividing my bust circumference by 6, and I'm going to be adding 1.5 inches to get my armhole. All right, you can go ahead and do the same for yours. This works for me, and you can go ahead as well and do yours. So I did mine and gave me 8, and I'm going to be marking 8 on all sides so I get a straight line. So I'm going to be connecting it like so, just like you see me do. I'm going to connect it all the way down. Okay, you can go ahead and also connect yours. So don't forget that our shoulder is not straight, so I'm going to be going in by half an inch for my shoulder slope. Yeah, that's half an inch for my shoulder slope. Then for my neckline, I'm going to be going in by 3 inches, 3 by 3 inches on both sides. Okay, you can as well go ahead and do 4 inches by 3 or 4 by 4 inches, depends on what works for you. All right, but I'm going to be using the 3 by 3 inch standard measurement, all right, in this tutorial. So I'm just going to be connecting mine just like you see me do. All right, if you don't have a curve, you can just go ahead and use your free hand. All right, I'll then go ahead and connect my shoulder slope. So I'm going to mark my 7.5 here, so that my connection, when I'm connecting, I'm going to be having a straight line from my shoulder down to my chest line. Okay, you can just go ahead and do yours just like you see me do. So we're going to do everything we did for the front pattern in the back pattern, except for the bust. All right, we don't have a bust at the back, obviously, so we're not going to be having the bust measurement. So I'm just going to go ahead and include my 7.5 inch measurement for my neck. Then I'm also going to be including my waist measurement for the back. Okay, if you measure your back and front, you realize that the front pattern and the back pattern are always different measurement to the waist, right? And that's why you see that the back here is 2 inch shorter than the front. Okay, so I'm also going to be marking my chest line measurements, because that's the point where we're going to connect armhole for the back. All right, so I'm going to include my chest measurements, chest line measurements, like so, and also connect it just like you see me do. All right, I'm also going to connect my 7.5 inches for my neck. I'm going to mark it so that I'll have an accurate line when connecting from my neck to my chest line. Then I'm going to go ahead and mark my shoulder slope. Then for the front back neck, I'm going down by 1 inch, 1 inch by 3 inch. All right, so I'll mark my 1 inch there. Then at this other end, the shoulder end, I'll mark my 3 inches. Okay, so for you can decide to go down if you want more than 1 inch, or you can decide to leave it just 1 by 3 inches. All right, whichever one you like. All right, so I'll connect my shoulder slope just like I did here. All right, you can go ahead and also do yours. So to get my armhole curve, I'm going to be dividing my bust span, which is 8, divided by 2. So I'm going to get 4 inches. So I'm going to be marking 4 inches, and I'll go in by 0.5 inches. So just go ahead and mark your 0.5 inches. So you can decide to go in by 0.5 inches, whichever works for you. All right, but for me, for this tutorial, I'm going in by 0.5, and I'm going to set my curve so I will have an accurate curve. I'm going to set it, and I'm going to curve it just like you see me do. All right, like I said, if you don't have a curve, you can just use your free hand, but just ensure that you curve it accurately. All right, I'm also going to repeat this for the back as well. I'm going to mark my center, which is 4 inches. Then I'm going to go in by 0.5, unlike the front that I went in by 0.7. I'm going to be going in here by 0.5 inches. All right, you can decide to go lower if you want, but for me, I'm going to go in by 0.5 inches, and I'm going to also connect my armhole just like you see me do. Just going to get an accurate curve and also curve it like I did in the front. Okay, go ahead and do yours just like you see me do. All right, so at this point, I like to usually include my darts measurements, my waist dart measurements, before I insert all my horizontal measurement. All right, so for my waist measurement, I'm going to be using my bust span divided by 2, okay, which is 4 inches. So I'm going to be marking my 4 inches. Just like so. then I'm going to be going in by half an inch. So there at my bust point, I'll go down by 1 inch. I like to always go down by 1 inch before connecting my bust. All right, if at this point you've enjoyed my video so far and you've learned one or two, kindly hit the subscription button and subscribe to my channel so you'll be notified whenever I post a video, and also turn on your notification bell as well. All right, thank you for watching my video to this point. So I'm also going to be including my 4 inches here and mark like so. I'm also going to be going down by 1 inch before I impute my half inch on both sides. So connect it just like you see me do. Connect to your darts, half inch darts that I marked. You can connect it like so. So after that, I'm now going to be including my round bust measurement and my round half my round waist measurement. Okay, so I'm going to include all my measurements. You can go as well and also do yours, include your measurements. So I'm going to start with my waist measurement. So my waist measurement is that's my waist circumference is 32 inches. If you divide 32 inches by 4, it's going to give you 8 inches. But I'm going to be marking 9 inches at my waist because of the 1 inch dart that I took out. Okay, so I'm going to be replacing that 1 inches at my waist measurement. So instead of marking 8 inches, I'm going to be marking 9 inches. Okay, then for my chest line and my bust point, I'm going to be marking on both sides my bust circumference. Okay, my bust circumference is 10 inches. All right, so I'm going to be measuring, imputing my 10 inch on my chest line, and I'm also going to be including it as well on my bust points, just like so. So just go ahead and also impute yours. All right, so I'm going to connect all my lines. I'm going to connect my chest line to my bust point, and I'm going to also connect my bust point to my waist line. Okay, I'm just going to be check if it's accurate. Then I'm going to connect it down to my waist line like so. Okay, so I'm going to be doing the same for my back pattern. I'm going to impute my 10 inch chest line measurements just like the way I did for the front. Then for the waist, I'm going to include my 8 inches plus my 1 inch waist dart that I took out. I will replace it and mark it like so, and also connect as well. I'm just going to adjust my curve just like that to meet my measurement. Okay, so if you observe that front and back are not straight, all right, so at this point we are going to be doing a bust dart technique. So at this my bust point area in my front pattern, I'm going to be marking that 2 inch. You know, there's a difference of 2 inch for my front and back, so I'm going to connect it like so, and at that point I'm going to be ruling a line to connect to my bust point line. The essence of this is either you The essence of this is for you to be able to close the darts. This is called the bust dart, and the one at the waistline is called the waistline. So by the time I close it, I'm going to divide it by 2 and I'm going to close it. You realize that it's going to align with the back pattern because I'm going to be closing that 2-inch. all right, the 2-inch, which the front is longer than the back. So I'm just going to mark the center and roll it. That way it will be easy for me to fold and also close. Okay, so I'm also going to be including allowance of 1 inch. I'm going to be including an allowance of 1 inch to this pattern. Okay, I usually don't like to impute my allowances on my pattern, but because for the sake of this tutorial I'm going to be including my allowance. Okay, so for a beginner you can go in by you can use 2 inch for your allowance. Okay, there's our center front. You can this as a center back for the back. Okay, then for the allowance you can decide to use 2 inch. I recommend 2 inch for beginners, so in case there's a mistake you can always correct, but I'm going to be using 1 inch on the side for mine. Like I said, if you're a beginner I advise to go by 2 inch just in case there's a mistake. You can always correct, but for me I'm going to be using 1 inch on this end. 1 inch. I'm going to be marking all my allowances all the way down, just do like so. Then at the armhole point I'm going to be using half an inch. Okay, just like you see me do, half an inch on the shoulder, half an inch on the neck, half an inch, and I'm going to connect these lines. Okay, I'm going to connect everything like so. So I've gone ahead to do all the connections. Okay, so I'm going to also do the same for the back pattern. I'm going to include 1 inch dart and half an inch, just the way I did for the front pattern. Okay, so I'm going to cut this out before I close our waist dart so you can see what I'm talking about here. Okay, so that's the only way you can really understand. So I'm going to cut it out now so we can do our bust manipulation there, then you can understand better what I mean. So I'm going to also include allowances at the back and cut it out, and I'll get back to you so you can see what I did. So yeah, I've gone ahead to cut it out and I've included all my allowances. Okay, this is my allowance. So yeah, I'm going to cut out I'm going to fold this area from my bust dart area. So I'm going to just cut that center, that middle that I drafted, so to enable me to fold this properly. So I'm going to fold it. All right, then you can decide to pin it down, all right, if you want, if you have a pin, but for me I'm going to be using this tape to tape it down. Okay, by the time we finish taping it, you're going to see that it's going to align and match with the back pattern once more. So I'm going to tape it just like you see me do. All right, so this is me closing my bust dart because I don't want a bust dart. You can see that is now accurate, is now in line with the back pattern. Okay, so you can go ahead and close yours if you want. All right, and also include a notch so you don't forget to notch. All right, and also when you are drafting your back pattern, don't forget to include your 2 inch and this thing, that allowance, zipper allowance. So that's the front and that's the back. So don't forget to include your zipper allowance of 2 inch. All right, I forgot to do, I didn't do that here, but you can as well add that. All right, so thank you so much for watching my video. Bye.